Everybody, get in here, get in here, get in here. Let me tell you this. There are 5 things that can destroy any relationship. And here's the thing. These are things that many well-meaning people are sitting up here doing. You don't even know you're doing it, all right? And that's why I want to do this with you all day. I want to teach you about these 5 things that can destroy any relationship, romantic, business, friendships. It can destroy any relationship. And I'm telling you, for many of you all, you're going to have some moments where you're going to say, aha. You're going to have some aha moments. You're going to have some amen moments where you're going to be able to say, you know what? I'm doing that thing. Well, you know what? I got a friend who's doing that, and that's affecting us. And I will tell you that when you can identify what you're doing that contributes to your relationships not working or them not operating at their fullest potential, then that's such an empowering thing, because it then allows you to be able to work on yourself. So I see Hong Trung in here. And he's in London. I love him. I see Mandisha Wilkins. I see Brandy Jones. I want y'all to get in here, and click like and click share, because I'm going to share this information with you all today. I'm going to share it with you, okay? Let me tell you this. I'm going to put this out here, all right? Here's the thing. I got a whole lot of single people who watch my videos, okay? And I'll tell you, I want the best for you. I want you to have your Mr. Right. I want you to have your queen. I want you to have whatever it is you're looking for. But here's the thing. You can't be no 6 looking for an 11, okay? I always say, you got to become the full embodiment of what you're looking for. Because at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, why would somebody want to be in a relationship with me, business, romantic or platonic, if I don't have the traits that I want them to have, all right? So many of us, we looking for folks to give to us something that we ain't even giving to them, all right? And so that's what this message is about. I'm going to step on some toes today. I'm going to talk about 5 traits. 5 traits. These are things that people do, their mindsets really, that people do that absolutely destroy relationships every single day. I see Twilo Ards. I see Ayana. I couldn't see your last name, sweetheart, but I saw your first name. I see Mandy. I see Demario. I see Sherry Adams. I want y'all to get in here, and make sure you click like and click share. And in fact, I'm going to do a roll call on everybody who's clicking share, all right? Because I'm looking for a teacher's pet, all right? So whoever shares my video, after you click share, right on here and say, I shared your video, all right? Just say shared or I shared your video. Let me know who you are. Let me know who my faithful fans are, all right? So after you click share, just right there, shared, all right? I appreciate it. Let's start with number 1, folks. Let's start with number 1. In fact, let me get my glass of water. So I'm about to go in, okay? So let me get my glass of water right here, okay? Just so I can make sure that I'm quenched and ready to give y'all this good word. Let me tell you. Brandy, thank you for sharing. Tina Lynn, thanks for sharing. All right, Nigel said, preach, my brother. Thank you, Nigel. Make sure you share the video. Demetrius Terry, thank you for sharing. Jetta Queen, thank you. All right, let me tell you. Here's number one, all right? Here's the number 1 thing that destroys relationships, all right? Being hypersensitive, being overly sensitive, all right? Now, let me talk to you about being overly sensitive, all right? I'm a Pisces, okay? Now, I don't believe that everything about the science is correct, but I do think that some of the traits are accurate. And Pisces, folks, we are known for being very intuitive people. I mean, I can feel what you feel, all right? We're known for being very creative. We're known for being dreamers, but here's the other thing, all right? We're also known for being very sensitive. And I can tell you that as a person who's very, very sensitive, let me tell you, this can hurt your relationship so much, all right? Because here's the thing about being overly sensitive, all right? When you are overly sensitive, what you do is you operate in a mindset where everything affects you. You get offended by everything. Everything steps on your toes. Now, we all can get offended. We all can have things impact us. But here's the thing. When you find that you're in a relationship and people got to walk on eggshells just not to hurt your feelings, it's a problem. And I can tell you this, it destroys relationships, because here's the thing. When you're being overly sensitive to everything is, well, what about me? You ever been around somebody like that? Where every time something happened, well, you didn't consider my feelings. What about me? Being overly sensitive is a very self-centered mindset, because what it does is it focuses on how you're being impacted. It focuses on your feelings. And what it doesn't do is it doesn't take into account that other people have different perspectives and different mindsets, okay? And here's the thing. Just because someone does something that may hurt your feelings does not mean that they are intentionally trying to hurt your feelings. Thank you, Carl D. Johnson, for sharing this video. Let me tell you this. Just because someone that does something that hurts your feelings does not mean that it was their intention to hurt your feelings, all right? And I'm going to tell you this right now. One of the things about being overly sensitive is this. You drain people. You drain people. People can't deal with you. People can't deal with you when they got to walk on eggshells to be around you. We've all been around them. You know, for me in my younger years, I was very, very, very sensitive. I mean, you had to walk on eggshells to be around me. And I look back on all the people who were my friends and who I was in relationships back then, and I say, you know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I didn't know I was such an overly sensitive mess. But I can tell you, being on the other end of the spectrum, having emotional balance within myself, but also now dealing with people within my own life where you experience them as overly sensitive. I'm empathetic of what they're going through, but I also recognize it's something that's truly draining. I'm telling you, if you recognize this, if you identify within yourself that you know you may be a little bit on the overly sensitive side, you may be someone where you feel like your feelings get hurt a little bit more than other people's feelings get hurt. What I want to talk to you about today is I want you to know that there's a way to deal with that, all right? And what I want you to first do is just own the fact that you may have some overly sensitive stuff going on within yourself. And then what I want you to do is to get to the root of why you are so overly sensitive. You know, I'm a big proponent for therapy. I think it's a wonderful thing for people to work, for people to have available to you. But, you know, I think that it's something that's just very helpful. But if you say, I don't want to go through all that, but here's the thing I want you to do is find someone who you're very, very close to. Maybe it's a spouse. Maybe it's a good friend. Somebody who you're really close to. I'm going to tell you this. The closest someone is to you, the more likely they are to have to deal with your emotional stuff, all right? Because when you got your emotional stuff, we're going to talk about more of those as I go through this video. But let's say you're an overly sensitive person. You know not to show that to everybody. You're not going to do that overly sensitive stuff with everybody. You're going to only do it with people who are closest to you. So what I want you to do is find at least 1 to 2 people who you're very close to, a spouse, maybe your best friend, maybe one of your children who you're very close to, and I want you to acknowledge to them, I know that I have a tendency to be a little overly sensitive. I know that my toes get stepped on a bit too much, and I want to apologize to you for any negative impacts I've had on you, for the way I've been responding to things. But here's the thing, I want to do better. And so what I want you to do is I want you to hold me accountable. Now, that's why I say go to somebody you trust and say, when I'm stepping into a space where I may be being a little overly sensitive, what I want you to do is identify to me in the kindest, most sincere way possible that this may be a moment that I may be interpreting this differently than what your intention is. Because see, here's the thing. If we give other people a permission to hold us accountable, then that gives us a point to be able to check back in with ourselves. We will say, oh, well, shoot, this may be a moment where I'm doing this. Because half the time, you don't know you're doing that, all right? So let me tell you, it works both ways. It works both ways. You got to give people permission to be able to hold you accountable, but only do that with somebody who you truly trust. Because what you'll see is that as they start to point things out, then you have to then take a step back, because you can't let them point out and then you go and fuss at them about it. But once they point it out, then you can take a step back and say, you know what? Okay, all right, give me a couple minutes. Thanks for pointing it out. Just give me about 5 minutes so I can kind of cool down, and we can come back and we can talk more about this, all right? So let me tell you that. So overly sensitive, that will destroy relationships. Here's another thing that destroys relationships, and for that matter, these things don't just destroy relationships. They can keep you from getting a relationship. You wonder why people don't want to go after, why they don't want to go on a second date with you. You wonder why your coworkers avoid you. I'm telling you why right now, okay? Here's the other thing. And I want you to click like and click share on this one too. Passive aggressiveness. All right? Jesus, don't nothing burn me up more than a passive aggressive person. Somebody who get in their feelings, and here's the thing, you don't even know they in their feelings. You don't even know they mad or that they feelings is hurt. And then it be 4 months later, and you wonder, why are you upset about so-and-so? And this thing happened months ago. You never even told me you was upset about that. You know, have y'all ever dealt with something like that? When months fly by, the person don't call you, or they just acting crazy, and they because they stuck up in their feelings about something, and you didn't even know they were in their feelings about it. I'm telling you, this passive aggressiveness can destroy a relationship. Don't nobody want to fight a battle that they don't even know they in, all right? So while you sitting up here creating a battle with somebody, creating a narrative within your mind that's making this person out to be the villain, what you're really doing is you're pushing that person away. Because here's the thing, they don't know what's going on in your head. All they know is that you're treating them differently. You're treating them in a way that feels less than what they believe is fair. Even if they were outright wrong, who cares if they were wrong if they don't know they were wrong? People cannot treat you the way that you desire to be treated if you don't tell them how you're impacted by them. But here's the thing about being passive aggressive. When you hold all this stuff inside of yourself and you hold it all within yourself, and you all know this, if you've ever dealt with a passive aggressive person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When they hold it all so deep within themselves, and then what ends up happening is they make the story worse. Because when all the time that they're using not sharing with you why they're upset with you, why they were offended by you, what they're doing is they make the story worse. And then before you know it, you the big bad bear, you're the villain, in the whole thing. And it's like, well, had they just addressed it with you up front, it would have just been been a molehill, but they wait and then they turn into a mountain. And that's one of the biggest dangers about being in relationships with people who are passive aggressive, is that small things always blow up because they don't want to deal with things and nip it in the bud. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. And if you know you're a passive aggressive person, here's what I want you to take a dose of. I want you to take a dose of courage, okay? Because here's the thing. All passive aggressiveness is a lack of courage to utilize your own voice and to speak up and to share what you are feeling, all right? Let me tell you this. A lot of times for passive aggressive people, the bigger fear is not, they don't want to hold in the feelings. They don't want to hold things against you. They don't want to create drama where there is none, although they do a great job doing those things, okay? That's not what their desire is. The reason why they hold things in is often because they're very afraid of conflict. They're afraid that if they address something directly, that it can turn to conflict. They're afraid that if they address something with you, you're going to run, or that's going to push them, that's going to create friction within the relationship. And what I'm telling you is this, is that yes, sometimes confronting things can hurt, can create friction. But here's the thing, there's no greater friction and separation than the friction and separation that comes from not addressing issues that are within your relationship. Because you can't, just because you don't bring it up and don't talk about it doesn't mean it doesn't affect your relationship. That's what you got to understand. So if you're someone who's dealing with passive aggressiveness, what I want you to do is I want you to have a dose of courage. I want you to recognize that your feelings are valid and that they deserve to be heard. But here's the thing, your feelings are going to be able to come out much clearer, and you're going to be able to engage in a much more meaningful dialogue with people if you nip things in the bud by bringing them up in a sensible and tactful way when you first feel them, rather than letting those things fester and get worse. Because if you let them fester and get worse, I'm telling you, people are not going to be able to hear you, because they're going to say, well, why'd you wait this long? And you waited this long, and you've completely distorted the situation. That's not even what happened, Jan. Jan, that wasn't even what happened. And next thing you know, y'all going back and forth on that. So Jan, whoever you are out there, that's what I'm calling passive aggressive. Jan, I'm telling you right now, girl, be courageous. Put your stuff out there. Just own your stuff. Put it right out there. Know that although you may not say things perfectly when you say it, it's better to kind of get it out there and nip things in the bud than to let it fester, all right? So here's the third thing that destroys relationships. And I see Carissa Sherrod Verity. I love her to death. All right. And Verdry, my apologies. So here's the third thing that destroys relationships. All right. Narcissism. I'm going to say it again. Okay. Narcissistic people. Okay. The people who believe that the whole world was not only created for them, but that it revolves around them. They cannot see their impacts on other people. They can't see how who they are and just how they impact people. They can't see anything. The whole world revolves around them. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I personally do believe that narcissism is something that can absolutely destroy almost any relationship, because of the fact that narcissism, when you deal with a narcissistic person, and some of us have been victims of the narcissistic person, when you deal with a narcissistic person, these people can almost be dangerous emotionally, because the type of decisions that they make have no regard for you whatsoever. So if you're in a relationship with a narcissistic person, I'm going to recommend to you that you definitely consider how you can maybe slow that relationship down or create some space in that relationship so that you can kind of process through, is this the relationship for you? Okay? Because I'm going to tell you this, there's nothing healthy that comes out of a relationship with a narcissistic person, someone who everything is all about them. You cannot have a healthy relationship with that kind of person, all right? And if you are a narcissistic person, I'm going to definitely recommend that you look at therapy, because narcissism is technically a personality disorder. They got different personality disorders: borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder. There are different types of different type of personality disorders out there. And it is something that I'm telling you, it is destroying your relationships. It ain't cute. It's destroying your relationships, okay? So I'm going to recommend to you that you look at therapy for yourself, all right? Because I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to have the kind of life that you desire and deserve if you are operating from a narcissistic mindset. So that's all I'm going to say about that one. Here's the fourth thing, all right? And after I do the fifth thing, I'm going to answer questions, but wait to write your questions in until I ask you. If you write your questions in now, I'm not going to be able to see them when I get to that part of the video, okay? So here's the fourth thing that destroys relationships. I'm just going to call it out. neediness and clinginess, all right? Now, this one I got from one of my friends. So the last three, I was sitting and I came up with these with my good friend Lawrence Smith. He's here in Long Beach. He's one of my viewers, one of my good friends, and he helped me with these, all right? Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant doctor. He's a doctor here. And anyway, he was helping me out. Him and his partner, they're some of the most wonderful people you've ever met. But nonetheless, neediness and cleanness, all right? Let me tell you this. Neediness and cleanness just don't work. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to own this for myself, okay? I love to love, all right? I love to be in love. Let me tell you, some people struggle in relationships where they say, it takes me time to commit to people. That ain't never my issue. I think I commit way too fast, okay? That's my thing, okay? I love to be in love. I'm one of these people, you can text me in the middle of the day. I could be in the middle of filming. I see your text come up, and if you my boo, as soon as they say cut, I'm texting you right back. Hey, baby. Yeah, I think I wasn't going to text you back. Just might as well call you and just wanted to hear your voice. How you doing, baby? I let you know I'm thinking about you. I just love to be in love, But what I had to understand for myself at a very early age was that my love to be in love, all of that, that sometimes it could come across as clingy or needy, okay? Because here's what I used to do. I'm just going to own it for you, all right? Here's what I used to do. If I text you and you ain't text me back within 1 minute and a half, maybe, then I was like, what's going on? Why you mad at me? What's going on? What you doing over there? If you didn't want to be with me every single night of the week and spend almost all day with me, well, what's wrong? Why don't you want to be with me? What's wrong? What did I do wrong? And what I had to understand, Cornisha Johnson said, yep, you a Pisces. Baby, I am. I just got to own it. I say that's one good thing about coming into my 30s is that I came into my 30s and I said, I got to just own some things about myself, okay? And there's many great things about myself and there's some challenges about myself. And I love them. They all come together just to make a beautiful medley called MJ. So anyway, and what I had to be able to own for myself was that neediness and cleanness, those are things where certain aspects, everybody wants to feel needed. Everybody wants to feel like you want to be around them, but people don't want to feel like your stability and your happiness is based on you being able to have constant, unencumbered access to them. Because here's the thing, what it does is that it can communicate to other people. It can communicate to other people that you don't have, that you're not centered within yourself, that you don't have your own identity, that you don't have your own life, all right? Who said that? Jamarcus Brown said the Scorpios are like that too. Let me tell you this, Jamarco. Let me scroll up. I gotta see your name again. Jamarcus, I was just talking with one of my friends, and he said that Pisces and Scorpios are very similar to each other because we're water signs. That's what he said. So if you go through the same thing, then that validates what he said too. But let me tell you this. If people are going to have a long-term healthy relationship with you, and if you want to be in a long-term healthy relationship with somebody else, all right, then what you got to understand is that people want to be in relationships with people who are able to have their own identity, have their own life, and who, while you value their presence and you value connection to them, your whole world doesn't fall apart if for whatever reason you can't get access to them, all right? So if you're someone where you find yourself being a bit on the clingy side, you find yourself being on the needy side, all right? Charisma, I'm sorry, she said she's a Cancer, baby. I understand. I dated me a Cancer for years, honey. And let me tell you, we was both clingy, just clingy as I don't know what. But let me tell you, if you find yourself on that end of the spectrum, I think this is very, very common. Understand this, that it's actually a beautiful thing that you desire to love, you desire to be connected, because there are so many people out here who, frankly, they want to be in relationships, they want to be connected to people, but they don't really know how to express that. They're unavailable, they're terrible with communication and all that other stuff. So the fact that you know how to express love and let somebody know that their presence is valued, and you know how to reach out to someone and be consistent and everything like that, understand that actually is a really beautiful trait. That's a really beautiful trait. That's a gift, because you can express love, and a lot of you all are able to continue doing that even after years of having your heart broken. You've had your heart broken many times before, but yet you can still pour out love, pour out love, pour out love. Understand that's a beautiful thing, but what I'm telling you is that everything has to be done in a measured way. You kind of have to have balance with everything. So understand that it's a beautiful thing to let somebody know that you're really interested in them, that you love them to death and all that, and you want to reach out to them, but perhaps rather than texting them all day throughout the day with the what you doing, how you doing, just thinking of you stuff, what if you put together a little schedule in your mind? Don't communicate the schedule to them, all right? This is just for us clingy people to have in our own minds. This is the clingy person society. So here's what I recommend doing, okay? This is what I do, okay? When you really into somebody, all right? If you're dating them, or even if it's your kids or whatever, and you like to reach out to them or whatever, whoever it may be, Here's what you do. If you want to do your little good morning text or call, do that. But then you make sure you don't do nothing else. No text, no calls, no nothing. Until later in the day, after they done with work, after you done with work, whenever everybody's free. That way you're not going back and forth throughout the day. Even if they text you back in the middle of the day, talking about, oh, well, how you doing, everything like that. Short answer, I'm doing really good. I'm looking forward to talking with you a little bit later on. Create some mystery about yourself. You know what I mean? Take a little space to yourself, because here's the thing. What you think of as, oh, I'm just in communication. I'm just being consistent with them. I'm just reaching out to them, and everything like that. For you, for me, us folks who have a tendency to be a little bit on the clingy or needy side, all right? What we think of as just normal flows of communication can be a lot for other people, okay? We got a whole lot of love to give, all right? And we're like, here, if we see this, oh, it's just saying, oh, here's our love. Take it, but really what we're doing is like we got a hammer and we're like, here's our love. We beat them over the head with our love. That's how they experience it, all right? So I'm telling you, just have some boundaries about it, all right? That's right, Wanda. I said have some mystery about yourself, kind of take it slow, all right? But if they on the same wavelength as you and they like to reach out, let me tell you, there ain't nothing better than that. When you got two people who just love to be in contact, love to chit chat, I can be on the phone with you literally. It's supposed to be a 5-minute call, and 2 hours later I look up and we still talking. That's just me, all right? I just got so much to pour out on the people. But nonetheless, if you find somebody then go with the flow. But kind of in the beginning, until you figure out what their flow is, try to keep it a little bit more balanced, all right? Try to mirror them a little bit. Use them as sort of the baseline so that you can make sure that when you're doing too much, all right? Here's the other thing. Here's the fifth and final thing that can destroy almost any relationship, all right? Listen, y'all. Listen, all right? All right? This is, in fact, before I do the fifth one, I need y'all to share this video some more. Make sure other people get it, okay? Because this is a good one, all right? Tay Demuke says, this great conversations for a 23-year-old. I love that. I love that we got such young viewers out here, all right? So here's the fifth one. Make sure you click share on this one, all right? All right, so this is the fifth one. Being emotionally unavailable, all right? Emotionally unavailable. Let me tell you, that's never been my struggle. I've been on the other end of the spectrum, okay? So if you're someone who's an emotionally unavailable person, let me talk to you from somebody who's had to be on the other end of the spectrum dealing with y'all, okay? Because some of y'all don't even know what it is to deal with an emotionally unavailable person because you're the emotionally unavailable person. Let me tell you this, all right? Emotionally unavailable people, it's one of the hardest things to be in a relationship with them. In fact, you can't be in a relationship with them because at the end of the day, you're expressing emotion. You're trying to communicate and connect with them. You're trying to build with them and be vulnerable, but they don't give you what you're giving them, all right? Now, y'all may not express emotion in the same way, but you open up and say, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking. What about you? I hear you. I hear where you're coming from. Cool. All right. Anything else? They don't give you anything back. And I will tell you, that is draining as I don't know what. Who is it? Keisha said that. Keisha said, yes, indeed. Oh, is that Keisha? Is that Keisha? Keisha! I know Keisha. Keisha's Kiki's mother. I said Keisha. Keisha Friday. Hey, Keisha. It is draining. It's absolutely draining. It's absolutely draining because at the end of the day, you have to, especially if you're someone who's emotional, if you're someone who's sensitive, you have to have someone who can pour back into you, all right? Because if you don't have someone pouring back into you, then you're going to end up being drained. And I can't tell you how many times I've done this, and I'm telling you, if this has been you, say that's me, okay? So listen what I'm going to say. This is you, say that's me. Nigel just said already, all right? Where you are sitting up here and you're in a relationship with somebody, all right? Or you've been in a relationship with somebody and you just keep pouring into them. You're open, you're honest, you're vulnerable, and they give you none of that back. They are emotionally checked out. It's like trying to get water from a stone, all right? And you think that, okay, if I just keep on pouring into you, maybe eventually you'll have something to pour out to me. Maybe I can kind of crack you open, and kind of break out of you. Cause I know you got something deep down in you, and I'm just going to keep on pouring into you until you can pour back into me. If that's you, if you've ever done that, say that's me, okay? And I'm going to tell you, for all those folks out here, Jess TR, Tanisha Stewart, Ariana Shaw, all of y'all who are saying that's me, oh my goodness, I see you there, Carol. For all of y'all who are saying that, yes, exactly, McIntosh, they don't reciprocate. Corey, for all of y'all who are saying that's me, let me let you in on a little secret about being in a relationship with an emotionally unavailable person. You cannot be in a relationship with an emotionally unavailable person, all right? I'm talking about like intimate relationships. Family, we can't always choose family. A lot of times y'all ask me, what about this family member? Well, I say just kind of change your dynamics with them, spend a little bit less time with them. Maybe get some relationships with other friends who can kind of fill the void that family member's not able to fill for you. But when it comes to intimate relationships, you cannot be in an intimate partnership with someone who is emotionally unavailable, especially if you're someone who is emotionally available, all right? In fact, I'm going to go as far as saying it is an act of abuse against yourself to be in a relationship with someone who's emotionally unavailable. For whatever reason, based on whatever trauma they've been through, based on wherever they are at within their emotional processing, they are not able to give you the level of emotion that you desire. And here's the trouble. When you're in a relationship with an emotionally unavailable person, it's very easy to internalize where they're at as, is there something I'm doing wrong? Maybe if I gave more emotion, they would give me more. Or maybe if I gave less emotion, they would open up. And you try to make it about you, and you keep trying to do everything you can to get this person to open up to you. But here's the thing, they're not going to open up to you until they're really ready to do that. And in a lot of cases, it's going to take a lot of work. They're emotionally unavailable because there's something going on with them that needs to be processed. And frankly, they often need to process that stuff being single and not in relationships with other people. That's what they need, all right? So what I'm telling you is this: do yourself a favor and give yourself permission to acknowledge to yourself that you deserve to be in a relationship with somebody who's going to be emotionally available to you. The same way that you can pour into other people, right? Keisha, I had the same conversation with Kiki. We were talking about this. Oh my God, I'm so happy that Keisha's on. So let me tell you this. Me and Kiki were talking about this because we're both people who know how to pour into people. For those who don't know, Kiki is one of my best friends. Lives right here in LA. And so we were talking about how we know how to pour into people and how we've often found ourselves in the past in relationships with people who couldn't pour back into us, and saying, just let us pour into you. We're great. We are emotionally available, all this. And one of the biggest epiphanies that we had together, I don't know who said it first, but because we had this epiphany together, is the question of, consider this for yourselves too. What if the person who's designed for you is someone who's equally as emotionally available as you? Not someone who you gotta wait to become emotionally available. Not someone who you gotta help make emotionally available. Not someone who you gotta work with them to get emotionally available. What if the person who's designed for you is someone who can match you at your level of emotional availability, your emotional intelligence, all right? What if that's the person for you, all right? And what I'm here to tell you is that is exactly who the person is for you. This is especially when it comes to intimate relationships and friendships, you have got to make sure that you understand that your ability to be open emotionally and connect with people and have high emotional intelligence, that is a gift to you. That's a gift to you. And that is a gift that should not be squandered with someone who's frankly not in the same place. There are levels to this thing, and not everyone is at a level where they can truly meet you where you are. And I think it's very important that while we recognize that we all have different strengths in different areas, one of the areas that we should never compromise within is around being in a relationship with someone who can pour into us and feed our heart, mind, spirits, and emotions in the same way that we can feed them. We've got to be fed if we expect to be able to continue to feed other people. So as I did last time, because I love doing this last time, I want to leave time to be able to answer your questions. I'm not going to be able to answer every question because I can't see every question. I kind of just see whichever one pops up on there, all right? So what I want you to do is, if you have a question, go ahead and write your question in. I'm going to give you a minute so you can get those all going in here. And I'm going to answer your questions. Of course, these questions need to pertain to what we're talking about today. So if you got any finance questions, honey, I talk about life, love, and money, okay? So if you got questions about something else, I'm not going to be able to answer those questions. Who is this? Arian Donnelly has written in here probably 3 times. Breathe, slow down. Baby, no, that's not my gift. My gift in its form of delivery is how I speak, okay? That's why I got 1.6 million viewers last month, because they like the way I speak, baby. I just pour out. I pour out, all right? Let's see here. But thank you so much, darling. I appreciate the feedback. Okay, let's see here. Repeat number 5. Rose said, Rose Black, number 5 was not being emotionally available. I'm going to do a recap while you all are writing in your questions for me, all right? Arian, here is it. Aryan, I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Miss Don, I'm gonna call you Miss Donnelly. I'm giving you kisses too. I'm just playing with you. All right, so here's a recap. Hypersensitive people, all right? Here's number 2, passive aggressive people, all right? Number 3, narcissistic people. Number 4, clingy and needy and clingy people, all right? You can't be those things. Number 5, not being emotionally available, okay? Daryl Smith says, does a narcissistic person know they're narcissistic? Most of the time they don't. They don't know they're narcissistic. But rather they know they're narcissistic or not, that is not your problem, baby. You got to make sure that you know who you are and know what you deserve, okay? Keisha says, Why do we tend to second guess ourselves even when our loves are doing things right? Let me tell you this, Keisha. You second guess yourself often, just the same reason why I second guess myself is because you don't trust yourself. What you got to understand is that when you trust yourself, you have no reason to second guess yourself. You have no reason to second guess your instincts, you know. And the reality is that many of us have been hurt in life, that we've been hurt before. And sometimes we say, Lord, I hope I'm not making a wrong decision again. I'm in love with you. I love you to death. I'm so glad to have you in my life, but I hope I'm not making another wrong decision because the last person who I love like this hurt me, you know. And so I think that sometimes what we got to do if we want to stop second guessing ourselves is first we got to forgive ourselves for the poor decisions we made for ourselves in the past and accept that if we knew better back then, we would have done better, but now that we know better, we can do better. So forgive yourself for everything that you wish you would have done before. And then also start trusting your instincts. When you can start trusting yourself, you never have a reason to second guess yourself. I'm scrolling up to see some of the questions that I might have missed earlier, but that's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful question. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm just looking here. Y'all keep writing in your questions because I can't. I'm trying to look here. All right. All right. Ooh, Blake Green says, can you fall out of love with somebody? I think that yes, your love for someone can definitely evolve. You know, I can think about people I've been in relationships with, you know, friendships and otherwise. We've been in relationships for years and years and years and years. And my love for them changed, you know. Maybe the person you fell in love with when you started the relationship was the version of them that they showed you at that time. But then as you got to know them more and got to see more about them, you're like, well, you know, I still love you. I still have love for you. But who I see that you are is not someone that's healthy for me. And I can't be in love with someone who's no longer healthy for me, you know? And so I think that, yes, we can fall out of love with somebody, but here's the thing, what I want you to honor within yourself is not feel bad about the fact that your feelings for someone have changed. You are allowed to have your feelings evolve. Now, I'm not saying you need to react based on every time your feelings change to someone, because a lot of people make the mistake where the minute they feelings change about somebody, they ripping and running. That's why they can't keep nobody in their life. They say, why can't Shirley keep a man? Why can't they ever keep a woman in their life? Why can't they keep nobody? Because the minute that they feelings change, they running for the door. So I definitely think you need to be patient when your feelings change to kind of process why my feelings change. But regardless, I think you have to honor where your feelings are at and then be willing to act on those so that you can make sure that you're in a healthy space. Gwenda Grant says, you have so much wisdom to be a young person. Let me tell you, the wisdom that I pour out to you is the wisdom that's been poured onto me by my elders. All right. Let's see here. Let me tell you. So this is wisdom that has been shared with me. All right. Ooh, Hong Trong says, can a long distance relationship work? This is Hong. He is in London, if I'm correct. And can a long distance relationship work? Here's my thought on a long distance relationship. It can work if two people are saying that they want to live in the same city eventually. If you have a plan to be in the same city eventually, all right? Because this is my opinion. I just kind of feel like, how are you going to have a healthy relationship if y'all can't see each other? I'm just going to speak for myself, okay? I need to see the person I'm with, all right? I love the idea of coming in at the end of the day and being able to cook some food for you or being able to go out and do some things. You know, even if I can't see you every day, I like that. You know, not everybody's wired that way, but rather you're someone who needs to be around someone every day. Here goes that needy, clingy thing, all right? I'm a part of the clingy club. I'm working on it, okay? So rather that's you or you're someone who's okay with a little bit of distance, I personally think that for a long-term sustainable relationship, especially a monogamous relationship, I do think that that eventually you need to be able to be in the same city. So I don't know that I would be able to enter into a long distance relationship if there was not a plan from day one around how we're going to be in the same city. All right, Keisha Friday says this. Is it important to know your worth and when to walk away? Malcolm, what's your thoughts? Hey, Keisha, let me tell you this. I like that song. You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. I love that song because let me tell you, you gotta know when to go, when to walk away. And let me tell you this. It is my time to walk away. It's your time to walk away when the way you treat me no longer honors the gift from God that I am. When our dynamic tears me down and it doesn't build me up. When I'm dealing with more pain than I'm getting progress and power out of our relationship, that's when it's time to walk away. I would rather deal with the pain of separating from you than deal with the pain of enduring a relationship that does not serve who I am and most importantly, the person I'm becoming. So that's why I tell people, you have to know within yourself that it is okay to walk away. Some of y'all say, and y'all make this mistake, and I'm calling some of y'all out right here, right now. Some of y'all make this mistake. well, you know, you're in a bad relationship and maybe you got kids, you say, well, I would leave him, I would leave her, I would to get a divorce, but we got the kids and I don't want to hurt the kids. Let me tell you this, the kids are already hurt because they're sitting here watching y'all in friction. They're watching y'all hurt each other. They're watching y'all cuss each other out because some of y'all doing that kind of stuff in front of your kids. And here's the even greater damage that you're doing to your kids, all right? And I'm talking this about knowing when to walk away because sometimes people stay in relationships for the wrong reason, okay? I'm talking about this. Here's the reality. One of the most unhealthy things that we can do is allow our children to see us in relationships that are not healthy and not functional, because what we're doing is we're teaching them that that's an acceptable way to be in relationships. So a lot of times you think you're doing your kids a favor by staying in an unhealthy relationship, but what you're doing is you're teaching them inappropriate and unhealthy ways of engaging in relationships. Then you wonder why when your children becomes an adult, why they're interacting in relationships, doing the same stuff in relationships that you did, enduring the same abuse that you endured, or treating people in the same negative way that you treated people with, because they learned it through watching you. So I'm telling you, even if you have kids, it's not worth staying in something that doesn't serve you, something that's hurting you, something that's tearing you apart. All right? I'm going to keep on going through these questions. Okay, I'm going to keep on going through these questions. Let me tell you this. All right? Anisha Anderson says, so do you believe that a relationship, consistent work that needs to be done? Okay, honey, I got to read your question again. I know y'all type fast, just like I do. Let me just summarize. I think this is what you're saying is, do I believe that a relationship needs consistent work in order for it to work between both parties? Absolutely. I don't believe that anything. People say, oh, it just got to flow. Yeah, it does have to flow, but flow does not always mean that there's not going to be work. You know, or you have to understand with the relationship, there are two people here. And this is even in business too. You have two people, two different perspectives, two different backgrounds. And even if they have the same core value system and have the same mindset on a lot of things, they're still two different people, okay? And nobody's ever going to see the world exactly as you see it because no one's in your mind. So I think that for any two people to come together, there's absolutely going to be work. And I think that that's one of the key parts of commitment. A mature commitment is recognizing that just because you commit to someone doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Understanding that what commitment is a commitment is an agreement that we're going to do the work together. Not a commitment that I'm only going to be with you while it's easy, and that I'm only going to be with you while it's nice and while it feels good, but I'm committed to do the work with you, all right? So that's the whole thing. If two people are not willing to do the work, then they're not in a relationship with each other, all right? A lot of people, they get so stuck in infatuation, but they can't cross over into a relationship because the minute the work starts, they want to run for the door, all right? But that's just immaturity, all right? Now, I'm telling you that right now. Let's see more questions. I'm scrolling down, y'all. Y'all wrote a lot of questions in here, all right? Trisha Rams says, should you end all communication with someone who's emotionally unavailable? Not necessarily so, because here's the reality. We all have our challenges, all right? And someone who's emotionally unavailable, in some cases, may not know that they're emotionally unavailable. I think you should not be in a relationship with a narcissistic person. Now, that's someone who's unhealthy to be in a relationship with. But for someone who is emotionally unavailable, it may be something, they just may not even know that they're coming across that way, or they may know that they're coming across that way, but they don't know what to do about it. So here's the thing. If you're in a relationship with someone who's emotionally unavailable, and this is something that you want to fight for, here's what I want you to do. I want you to set some boundaries on yourself to be able to say, excuse me, y'all, to be able to say that you're not going to take it personal when they're being emotionally unavailable with you, all right? And that you're going to kind of limit how you interact with them, all right? So when they go into that emotionally unavailable place, when they're stonewalling you, where you're trying to talk to you, you're trying to connect with them, but they're giving you no emotion whatsoever, Google stonewalling, y'all. Google that. In fact, one of y'all do me a favor, all right? What I wanted one of my faithful students to do is to go Google stonewall, the definition of stonewalling, and then put that link in here. Make sure you vet the link, okay? Read it, make sure it's the right thing. We're talking about putting up blockages for someone, and put that in here so the people who watch this video in the future can see what stonewalling is, okay? What you say, I'm not going to deal with that, all right? And then what you need to do is go to that person and actually talk to them about how you're experiencing them. If they see how they're coming across and they're willing to make active steps to work on that, getting into therapy, that's the only kind of work they need to do if they are emotionally unavailable, is getting into therapy. If they're willing to do that, then maybe there's some hope around that, all right? But you're also going to need to make sure you get into some therapy too, so you can understand how to maintain some healthy boundaries for yourself, all right? But if that person's unwilling to change and unwilling to work on themselves, then I don't necessarily know that you need to end all communication with them, but you definitely may need to change the type of relationship you are in with them so that you can heal and create room in your life for someone who's actually going to be emotionally available to you, which is what you deserve. I'm going to go through 2 more questions, and then I'm going to close out, all right? All right, let's see here. All right, I'm looking. I got to scroll up, all right? Let's see here. Cosmo D. Harris says, should I tell a man that I'm interested in him, or am I being too aggressive if I ask him out? Cosmo, baby doll, no. You have not, because you asked not, all right? Let me tell you this. Yes, you gonna sit up here, you gonna be a single wallflower if you don't let somebody know you're interested in them. I will let someone know I'm interested in them in a minute. Y'all know how I flirt? Y'all wanna know how I flirt? I'm gonna tell you how I flirt, all right? Because I don't mind flirting, all right? I have some shy tendencies, but when I want what I want, I go after what I want. You hear what I'm saying? So here's what I do when I flirt. Here's the first step that you gotta make, okay? Here's the first step, okay? Understand this, that your smile is a tool, honey. It is a weapon of mass destruction. So what you want to do when you're flirting, okay, Cosmo, listen, because it's not aggressive, okay? So what you want to do when you're flirting is if they're across the room, you know, if you work with them, whoever it is, now be cautious if you work with the person, okay? Because listen, that can get a little dicey, okay? But whoever they are, what you want to do is make sure you smile at them. Make sure that you know, that they know that you are bringing, that they bring a smile to your face. So you smile at them every now and again. You know, if they're across the room and you see them, smile at them. You know, because then they look, and they're like, oh, shoot. And their little heart will palpitate because you smiling at them, all right? And people don't get that very often. So often in society, we looking down the ground, looking away from people, you know? But smiling, that's the first thing you do. And then eye contact is another thing. Not too long because you don't want to look crazy. But little eye contact. So you look over, and I look away. I give a little eye contact, smile again, and I look away. Now, what I'm doing there is I'm communicating telepathically to you. I'm interested and I see you. And you brought joy to my heart, okay? Now, for some of the smart ones out there, okay, they'll come right over and say, hey, how you doing? But even if they don't come right over, that then opens the door for me to go over because now we've smiled, we've interacted and everything like that. And I can go right over and I say, you know what? I decided I need to stop staring at you and actually come over and say, hi, my name is Malcolm. What's your name? And that's what I do, okay? And then they be so flattered. And then here's the next thing you do, honey, because everybody like to be flattered, right? Men, women, everybody like to be flattered. Then you pick someone on to compliment. I don't care if it's just their pinky ring, all right? And I don't know who wear pinky rings nowadays, but regardless, whatever it is, that is a beautiful ring. Where'd you get it from? Oh, wow, that's wonderful. So where are you from? Oh, wow. Okay, cool. And everything they say is interesting. You're smiling. You're listening. You're taking it in. You make them feel warm, you know? And you're asking them questions about themselves. That's how you kick it off, by asking lots of questions about themselves. Wow, really? Oh, that is so cool. Now, am I genuinely interested in everything they say? Well, not always. But I'm trying to get the ball rolling to break the ice for them, okay? So that's how I flirt, okay? And so I don't think it's aggressive to tell somebody you want them, all right? Because here's the thing. What you won't do, somebody else would do. So while you sitting up here worried and waiting on them to come to you, somebody else went right to them, okay? And here's the thing. Even if they're not interested in you, I personally don't care. You know my feelings about rejection and everything like that. Rejection is just redirection, okay? So if you're like, well, no, I'm actually dating someone, or I'm actually just not interested. I'm just not interested, you know. It's like, okay, well, that's cool. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I want you to have a good night. And move away, walk away, and you start looking for who else in here that you're interested in, because somebody else you're interested in, all right? You can move on with yourself. So I think that it's a beautiful thing to ask somebody to just go on ahead and just let somebody know you're interested in them. That's my logic, all right? But you know, my mama she say, you bold. She say, you bold, all right? And I am bold. I don't care. Carol Spencer Morgan says that's in sales too. All right, I got another question I want to answer tonight. I enjoy answering y'all's questions, all right? Let's see here. I'm scrolling up. I got to look for more questions. I'll answer two more because this one kind of ties into the last one. Alicia Baskin says, I don't take rejection well. So what do you do when you're being rejected? When you're approaching people? Here's the thing. A rejection has nothing to do with you, especially when it's with a stranger. You know, so rather like Carol talked about in sales, or you're dealing with someone you're interested in dating, it has nothing to do with you. They don't even know you well enough to reject you. They don't even know you well enough to reject you. It could be that they dating somebody. It could be that they're intimidated by you based on what you're wearing. It could be anything. You don't know why they're rejecting you. All you know is that they're not giving you the same energy that you're giving them, all right? So I think that's the thing you got to internalize, is that you're not a mind reader. So often what happens with rejection, here's why rejection can hurt us so much, is because with rejection, what we often do is that, or the unhealthy thing to do is that when rejection happens, we internalize that disappointment and we filter it through our own insecurities, right? So if we think we got a little extra meat on our bones, right, then we say, oh no, he rejected me because I need to lose some weight. I know I need to lose some weight. He may not be thinking about that. He may like a full-figured gal. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you internalize through that, or he rejected me because I was too aggressive. And people always tell me I'm too aggressive. Oh, I need to stop being so aggressive. No, that's just your own stuff. So I think that one of the things we got to be comfortable and confident about is that who we are is beautifully and wonderfully made. And if someone doesn't want what we have to offer, it has nothing to do with our own insecurities. It may have something to do with something that has nothing to do with us at all. And just accept that and move on, and accept that rather you believe in God, the universe, however you want to look at it, what you have to recognize is that often and almost always rejection is redirection. It's simply letting you know this ain't the one for you. I can't tell you, this just happened to me. This just happened to me. Alicia, listen. I was on Instagram, okay? I was on Instagram, and there was this guy who was from, oh gosh, probably 5-6 years ago. Oh my God. And every time I would see him out and about, oh my Jesus, he was just so fine. I mean, my God, just the picture of everything I wanted. And I Googled him and looked him up, went through his LinkedIn, went through everything. I was like, oh my God, this is my one. God, you made this one for me. Deliver this one. Deliver him, honey. Bring him home. All right? So I was just so excited. So finally, I got the nerve to go let him know I was interested, okay? Listen, all right? So I finally got the nerve to tell him I was interested, all right? Whew. Went up to him. We're at an event. And I was like, I have to tell you, I'm really interested in getting to know you. I haven't been stalking you, but I've looked you up. And I know that I'm really interested in getting to know you. And my big old just bright smile. I'm just like, and he was like, oh yeah, cool. Let's exchange numbers. I was like, exchanging numbers. So we exchanged numbers. Okay. So I waited. I was trying not to be too clingy because I know how I can be. And so I waited until the next day. That's me not being clingy, is waiting till the next day. You got 12 good hours, okay? So I waited till the next day, then I texted. I was like, it was really nice meeting you last night. You're finally getting able to talk. I'd love to see when we can actually connect in person. Dinner, drinks, lunch, I don't care. Hike, I don't care. Anything. Let's connect. He didn't respond. But it was on the Apple iPhone, so I saw that it was delivered. Right? And then a day later, I saw it was read. So not only was it delivered, but he waited a day and then read it. I was like, well, okay, all right. So my feelings are hurt. And then, so 3 days passed, 4 days passed. I hear nothing back from him. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe he's like gone somewhere. Maybe he's out of the country. I'm making up a story to kind of not make me feel bad, because I knew he had a good job that made him travel a lot. And then, but I saw that he was posting that he was really out and about, hanging out in the same town as me, just doing regular stuff. He even had one post where he was at Target. I'm like, you got time to go to Target, but you can't text me back? Whew. So I finally reached back out maybe about a week or so later. And I was like, hey, just wanted to reach out. I didn't hear back from you. Don't know if you missed my text. He wrote back, I got your text, ... Bubbles, 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 bubbles disappear. So the bubbles is when they're typing. Then it disappeared. Bubbles show, then it disappeared. Oh my God. Then so I'm like, well, what's he gonna say? And then he's put ... but I'm not interested. Girl, if I like to fall out of my chair, okay? My little heart was broken. But here's the thing, the story still goes someplace. Listen, y'all. I'm gonna keep telling the rest of the story, okay? In fact, let me have a sip before I tell you this, okay? So listen. So then I'm on Instagram, honey. That's why I always tell you rejection is redirection, all right? I'm on Instagram just this past week, okay? And I'm scrolling, because I didn't unfollow him. I was like, well, whatever. And so I've seen his life go along and everything like that, but I've connected with so many people on Instagram. I don't see him very often. I see a little post pop up from him. Child. I ain't putting everybody's business out there, all right? But y'all don't know him, so I'm not gossiping. It's not gossiping when they don't know who you're talking about, okay? You just telling a story. I'm on Instagram, child, full-blown mess, okay? So what I was able to deduct from what he was doing on Instagram, which was not living right. I'm going to tell you that right now. He was doing some foul things, and I was like, you would post that on Instagram. I'm not going into all of it. I'm not going into all that, because I know some of y'all got kids watching, okay? But just some mess. He too old to be doing all that. I went to his page, like his LinkedIn page. His job ended that he was in and don't have a new job in there, right? And then so I decided just to reach out as a concerned friend. I reached out to someone else who knew him. And I said, whatever happened with so-and-so? I'm not going to use no names, but whatever happened with so-and-so? And my friend said, oh, child, they said, he was a mess. I said, really? They said, yeah, he was out here just sleeping with everybody, doing all kinds of craziness. And I'm not shaming nobody for sleeping with everybody. You live your life, honey. Live your life, do you, all right? But yeah, he was out here doing all this craziness and everything like that. And eventually got too caught up in his life and whatever he was doing in his life. Lost his job. He had a little side business, lost that too. And he just out here in these streets, okay? So what I'm telling you, girl, is that Alicia, I dodged a full-on bullet, okay? I dodged a bullet with that one. I'm so happy because he was a mess back then, okay? He just was a mess with a good job, okay? He was a mess with a good cloak. And I'll tell you this much, the chickens came home to roost, all right? So you ask the question of how do you take rejection well? How did you deal with it? Just trust that rejection is redirecting you away from some stuff you should have never been involved in the first place. I'm going to take one more question here, okay? Before I close out, I'm going to take one more question. All right. Yes, he did do me a favor, honey. I'm gonna say, oh, I got my knuckles right in front of the screen. All right. Let's see here. Let me see. I'm gonna go through one more question. I'm gonna close out after this one more question. Y'all all laughing at my story, but I'm telling you, that was a lesson for me, girl. Let me tell you. All right. Well, I'm gonna take a question from Carissa, Miss Carissa here. It says, what should I do when someone has approached me and they may be in between a relationship or separated, but they're trying to pursue you? Should you accept the relationship or wait until the other relationship is finalized? Just had this conversation, Carissa. Miss Carissa, listen. A man, a woman, a goat cannot be emotionally available to you. Listen, if they are fresh out of a relationship or still in something, all right? And separated to me is still in a relationship, all right? That's a situationship. You ever see people on Facebook and they write, it's complicated? Ain't nothing complicated, boo. You in a relationship that ain't wrapped up yet. You need to get that together, okay? We grown. Ain't nothing complicated, all right? So here's what I'm going to tell you this, Miss Carissa, all right? I personally do not believe that you should approach pursuing a relationship with anybody who is in between relationships where they just getting out of it because they need to heal and they need to get through that stuff, and you don't want them to bring that old stuff over to you, all right? Until they properly heal, here's the thing. They are going to have a lot of the stuff in that relationship, and it's going to hit you, all right? And I'm just telling you, you are worth so much more than to have to deal with the emotional baggage of someone else's failed relationship, okay? And definitely if they're in a relationship, there's so many people out here, all right, where they don't like being single. So what they do is they're looking for their next person while they're with their current person. And I think that's just foul, okay? That's just foul. If you are in a monogamous relationship, if that's your agreement, then you don't need to be doing that, all right? In the one that you in, heal and then find the next one. But regardless, if they're in a relationship, I definitely would not deal with them. And separated to me is still in a relationship, okay? That's just my own belief. Maybe I'm old school about that, Because my thing is, if y'all intended not to be together anymore, then why didn't you divorce? Why are y'all not fully cut off? Why are y'all just separated? Separated is still connected. It just means we have some space going on here. But if they're in a relationship, you can get a whole lot of mess out of that because you're dealing with the fact that they still are attached to somebody else. They may go back to that person. They may stick with that person. But here's the other thing. You don't know who they with. Let's just be real, okay? This 2018, some of these people got partners, spouses, wives, husband, whoever, who crazy as I don't know what. So the thing is, they can tell you whatever story about, oh, no, we separated, we this, that, and the other. Do the other person feel that way? Because you don't know. You don't want somebody coming knocking on your door. You don't want to go out to your car. Your car done got keyed or something crazy like that. I done heard some stories, okay? Let me tell you this, all right? So I'm not trying to be dramatic, all right? Let me tell you this. I'm just here to live a good life, make a lot of money, and help people, okay? That's what I want for y'all. I want y'all to live a good life, make a lot of money, help some people, and get some good loving along the way. That's what I want for you, all right? And I'm going to tell you this. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, Sarah. It ain't worth it, Sarah. I don't know who Sarah is, but something in my spirit said it ain't worth it, Sarah. But Miss Carissa, for to answer your question, you're a beautiful woman. You're a beautiful spirit. I personally would not recommend to you that you invest your energy into someone who is emotionally unavailable, and they're emotionally unavailable because they just came out of a relationship or they are currently still in a relationship. All right. So nonetheless, if you like this video, thank you to all of y'all who click like and click share. If you're watching me on YouTube, of course, click subscribe, baby. I got plenty more good things coming for you. If you're watching this on IG, then of course, share this video and tag someone in it who needs to hear it, all right? Because some of y'all friends are going through it, and they're going through it, and they need to hear this about how they can change who they are so they can be in a good relationship. I say, you can't be no 6 looking for an 11, okay? Let me just tell you that. You can't be no 6 looking for an 11. So if you find that you're one of these 5 traits, maybe you're hypersensitive, maybe you're passive aggressive, maybe you're narcissistic, maybe you're needy or clingy, maybe Maybe you're emotionally unavailable. If you find that this is who you are, then you know these are things you can work on so you can find someone who's healthy and whole for you, because healthy and whole people want other healthy and whole people. So nonetheless, thank you so much for watching, and I got plenty more videos for you to come. Have a good day, folks. Bye-bye.